In this video, we'll be describing the first of the Click and Teach series created by Multimedia Science. This will be on the physics topic of math review and graphical analysis. This is a set of materials designed to assist in the teaching of the definition of science, the scientific method, scientific notation, slope, units, variables, conversions, graphing, measurements, error, running experiments, and both linear and nonlinear graphical analysis. The reason it's called Click and Teach is because all of the materials can be accessed from a single menu, and that's what you're looking at right now. So let's go through the materials one at a time. First of all, there are a set of handouts which can either be accessed one at a time by clicking on the Word or PDF buttons, which will open up the worksheets or handouts, or by clicking on the entire packet, you can access and print out the entire 31 pages. This is the way I typically do it, is to hand this out at the beginning of the unit for all the students. There's also an equation sheet which has all of the equations for the entire year. There's also an answer packet. So this will give you all of the answers for all of the worksheets, lecture notes, etc. There are objectives. So for each of the lectures, there is a set of objectives and thinking goals. There are several PowerPoint presentations. When you click on them, it will bring up the PowerPoint slides. So here are a few of the beginning slides. These are set up so that you can use them to be part of your lecture. And the other slideshow. There are two software modules. One is a significant digits drill, which will go through and allow students to understand exactly what it means to use significant digits and numbers, and also a number of drills that allow the students to practice. There's a sample graduated cylinder experiment which runs the students through a simple experiment looking at the volume versus the height of a graduated cylinder, and shows them how to develop the equation, the volume equals area times the height. So this is sort of an introduction to graphical analysis. There are two experiments, a linear and a parabolic, and they have objectives and handouts and sample data and also an answer key. So let's take a look at the lab handout. First experiment is a linear curve, so you'll be looking at a spring and measuring the stretch of the spring versus the mass that's hung from it. In the Parabolic Curve lab, you use the same equipment, but in this case you'll be measuring the period of the spring against the mass. For each of these experiments, there's an answer key with sample data, answers, and the final graphs. There are 2 quizzes and a test in A and B formats, again in Word and PDF format, and the associated answer keys. So here's one of the quizzes on nonlinear graphical analysis. There are also a couple additional assignments. There's an orders of magnitude where students have to take measurements of a light bulb filament, and this forces them to look at the significant digits compared to exactly the size of the units on their measurement object. In this case is a ruler. There's also a Dow's experiment, which requires a number of small dowels if you want to do it by hand. However, you can also print out a page that's provided that actually has the dowels on a piece of graph paper, so that you don't need to use the actual equipment if you don't want to. There's a set of instructor notes, and this goes through a description of the screens, some ideas on what the best way is to use all the materials, step by step, with some extra information and ideas and URLs. So this should help you in using the materials in the best manner. Here's the printout for the Dow lab, so students can take their measurements without having the actual dowels. Here is the software that goes along with the orders of magnitude, and this shows you the ruler and the materials that they're going to be taking measurements of. So that's an overview of the Click and Teach Math Review and Graphical Analysis. Lots of materials, certainly enough to go for 2 to 3 weeks. Covers most of what you would typically want to introduce before starting an algebra-based physics course at the high school level. So if you're interested in seeing the Physics Math Review and Graphical Analysis by Multimedia Science, go to Teachers Pay Teachers. Here is the URL for the Multimedia Science store. Thank you.